Alright, so using those winches, we've got this thing pretty much straight. As far as we can tell, the frame is straight. Now, we've sourced a bed. We're going to go pick up that bed today, so come along with us to see this mess. Alright, Josh, tell us about this bed.
I don't know much about it. I bought it 2 months ago. Kind of sight unseen, just from a picture, talking to the guy. Hopefully it's not all rusted out.
Alright, we found it. It's full of trash. We've been putting all the trash from there into that truck. It's, Josh says it's usable. I don't know.
It ain't pretty, but it's usable.
We're gonna get to work on pulling this thing out. We're gonna get this bed onto that trailer. Alright, check this out. Ain't that some sketchy stuff? That's why Josh is under there.
What?
I said that's why you're under there, because the back end is so sketchy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just Josh. It don't matter if it falls.
I'm Matt, and that is just Josh. Alright, we got all those bolts undone. Took a little bit, took some heat, but now we're going to try to lift that sucker off of there. He's got a tractor here. That's going to hurt. It looks pretty gross, but hopefully it'll clean up well. It's on there. Now let's see if we can get those leaf springs and the trailer hitch. Okay, we've got one thing left to get. That is this front left wheel. One of the wheels was messed up in the accident. You guys remember that? There's one missing on the rear. We're hoping this one on the front will work for that. Look at what we found. We found a twofer. We got a 2-for-1 deal. $10. That's gonna go on the Comanche. I know you guys have seen the Comanche recently. It's not real happy with its side view mirrors.
Nope.
Alright, bleeping jeepers, we got back with our mirror and our truck bed. Now we've got to figure out how to get this truck bed off of the trailer at my place here. And where we're going to put it. We're going to stash it in the woods so the wife doesn't see. Hope's going to be pissed.
On the truck. Yeah. It's beautiful though. It's not nice or at all.
The bed we pulled off had 3 bolts on either side. This one seems to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you sure that you bought the right bed?
I really hope so.
Maybe we ought to stick it on here and make sure it's the right bed. That'd suck if we just spent all day buying the wrong bed.
Buying the wrong bed? That would suck.
Alright, so I'm going to grab the forklifts here and see if this thing will pick it up. Yeah, Hope is gonna love that. Seems like we get rid of one thing and we add 2 more. Alright, check it out. We've got the axle. We made it back with that. The guy sold us the entire leaf springs, even though Josh only needed the one. They were bolted through. This one is bolted all the way through, whereas this one over here, everything is separated. But Josh wanted that overload spring, so we got that. We also ended up picking up a bedside. So in reality, we should have just bought the entire truck. The guy only wanted $1,500 for the entire truck, and just the axle and that stuff was what, $700?
$700.
And We already bought the leaf spring from the other guy for what, twice as much or more than what these were?
Twice as much. I mean, these were cheap, and it was a fair price than the other guy too. But yeah,
it just depends on who you talk to, whether or not they know they have good stuff or not. But that was a heck of a deal if we hadn't have already bought the bed and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
This one's been in an accident as well, so hopefully this one's not bent. We forgot to look at the flanges. You guys see any bend in there? We're gonna get this unloaded and we'll shove it in here. All right, so we need to get some jack stands, jacks, batteries, Milwaukees. If we do this, this will be the second axle that we've changed today. Second axle that we pulled anyway. Safety goggles. Okay, as always, we find issues. See if you can spot the difference between this axle and this axle. Do you notice any differences there? If you do, you're a winner, and we are the losers. I guess it doesn't change anything. We still have to get the axle out, so I'll continue on that. Next issue, we got to get this drive shaft off, and this thing is about to break, and these guys aren't coming off. So we're going to start heating things up. Oh yeah,
right out now.
That worked. Don't let that come down on your head.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
You want to bet?
It does have some slip in it.
Okay, we're almost there. I almost wonder if it's like bent right in here. It's hard to say. There we go. So what year is this one?
2004.
2004 has fine thread lug nuts, or fine thread studs, and this has coarse thread studs. Goes right on over here, not over there. Well, if you want, we can take this off, press all these out, press all those out. Does that fit?
No.
No? Well, there goes another $100.
Lug nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just buy a running and driving truck?
I did. It ran and drove.
No.
Right up onto the trailer.
I think you tried to get a deal by buying a wrecked truck, but then you end up spending just as much to get it running as buying a running driving truck.
No.
Yes.
A two-wheel drive, yes. Not a four-wheel drive.
Huh. Why do we need four-wheel drive? This is a tow pig. We're going off-road?
Because of your driveway.
Because of my driveway? It's a dually. It'll handle it. The FedEx guy gets up there.
He's not towing a trailer.
Alright, so these will not be permanent, but we found these in there for, I think these were for my Toyota. And we're just going to put 4 of these on for now while we figure out where to get the proper ones. These lug nuts have acorn fitting, which means the wheel is shaped at this 45-degree angle and it centers, self-centers. This one is probably hub-centric, I believe, and it just has flat lug nuts that just hold the wheel, but they don't center it like this one does. We're ready to go to Utah. So that's how it's supposed to look factory, but that looks crazy, doesn't it? It looks like there's 10 leaf blocks in there in this weird funky spring. This lift block is also the new bump stop. I guess they had those on the 4-wheel drive truck. And then this is some sort of spacer for the overload spring. Okay, I'm going to lift this up, and then the jack stand comes out of that side, hopefully, maybe, if we're lucky. There we go. That's a flexi machine. Say hello to all the people. Hi. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. So before, this was a huge gap and a very tiny gap. So it's looking like it's better, or the way it's supposed to be at least, hopefully. This, it's still bigger, so it's a bigger gap on front there, smaller on the back here, and then on this side it's bigger in the back, smaller in the front, almost like the axle is this.
No, it's the same. That bottom spring's twisted.
Oh, you think it's just that spring?
Yeah.
If you say so. Okay, take a look from a distance. Frame's still a little wonky, but I say she's ready to rip. Now we just need a drive shaft that works. Then we'll be ready to rip. So, if you didn't catch on earlier, this is a flange, and this is a U-joint. So that's not going to work together. We're going to have to figure out how to adapt this drive shaft to a flange style, or figure something out. Alright guys, welcome back. We are working on this Ford, this cheap wrecked Ford. Once again, we've got to get to Utah. Today, we've got a lot of little parts. Josh has 2 whole boxes of things to put on this. I don't know. He was sitting at Amazon late at night or something, and he ended up buying like 1,500 parts for this thing. But one of those is this. Tell us what this is, Josh. What?
So that's a sump for the fuel tank. These things have an issue in the sending unit. There's filters, they get clogged up, and then down at the bottom there's this little plastic foot. It's the pickup, and it likes to break off. When you get down a little bit below a quarter tank, you run out of gas.
So the weird thing about this, which I didn't realize you could do, you just take a drill bit and you drill into the plastic tank, and then this attaches to that with, where's that little piece? That thing goes up into the tank, and then you end up screwing that to that, and then that is what seals. It's kind of strange. Doesn't seem like it would work, but apparently people are using this.
People have been using it. I haven't seen a lot of issues with leaks. So.
Alright, so we need to drill a hole in that tank, and there's still fluid in it, so let's grab a bucket. X marks the spot. Okay, here we go. If I catch on fire, call the ambulance. I'm gonna stink good. Alright, so we need to figure out how to mount this on the frame rail. This is gonna be the fuel filter, and this is the second time that I'll be able to use this little transfer punch set that my uncle got me. We've been using these things since I got them. I didn't even know they existed before I got them, but you can just be more precise with this. Before we were just guessing where the holes go. Now we can put a sheet of steel on there and smack it with a hammer, and it'll leave indentions right where we need to drill those 3 holes to make a bracket for this to go on the frame. We got an issue! Luckily we heard it. We heard it gulping for air. Oh man. You ready?
Looks like it's almost out.
Getting close. Sweet. What are you doing over there?
Transfer pump.
You making a mess?
Yep. Already.
You got goodies for us?
Yeah.
What do you got?
An Amazon birthday kind of day.
Oh man, I got a love-hate relationship with them. Don't screw up. How big is that tank? Is it hollow?
Yeah.
Maybe it's solid back there. Okay. About dang time.
You're telling me.
Okay, step 1 complete. So the hole is drilled in the tank. This is kind of ingenious the way this works, but you fish that up through just like we did on a previous episode. Josh had that idea for a washer. So you slide that up through the hole, and it's bigger than the hole, but it fits because of this opening. And then this goes on the bottom. The tank gets sandwiched in the middle, and then this bolt has a washer and seals up through the bottom and clamps it all together.
Hopefully that'll work. It's tight.
Alright, we need some more hoses for the tank, but while we're waiting on that, we need to do some work on the front. As you can see, the U-joint is bad in there. I don't know if you can see that, but it is completely broken and shot. We're also wanting to check the ball joints. Here's a quick way to check your ball joints. You want to lift up the vehicle off the axle just a little bit off the ground, about an inch or two, and then you're going to put a pry bar or something under there that you can lift up with.
He's going to have a hard time seeing that because he's stuck on that side of the truck.
So you need 2 people.
You need 2 people. But you can feel it. You can hear it and feel it. And so you just come in here and see where the play is. And you can see the play is right there in the lower ball joint.
Can you see it through the camera?
I think they can see that.
So we need to change lower ball joint, maybe upper ball joint as well, but while we're in there, just might as well change both of them, right?
Yep. We've got them both, so might as well change them both.
All right. Yay, fun for us. Here's a little trick for you. Next time you got some 1/4-inch rod hanging around or some kind of steel, just make you a little S-hook or a big S-hook, and then you can hang your brakes off of that without worrying about them ripping the brake lines off. That looks pretty gnarly.
It looks like it's going to come right off though.
Oh, look at that. You got it. So next up, there's a little snap ring in there. We figured out this big spacer will come off once you get that big ring out of there and all the rust free. What else you got in there? There's like a socket in there. We don't have to have that specialized socket, do we?
I don't know.
Please tell me we don't.
Because that's really tiny.
Yeah, it is. Oh, look, it's loose. No wonder they never changed the U-joint in there, because they didn't want to deal with this. They probably just said, okay, it's a 2-wheel drive truck now. Alright, if you ever find yourself working on one of these big trucks with a vacuum seal, just like that one, we had to consult a Googler to try to figure this out. But what we're going to do is put a pry bar on the back side here and pry this out, because this axle is like held in by that seal right there. So this worked great on somebody else's YouTube video. Let's see if we can do it. This thing has got a lot more rust to it. There we go. That worked really nice. Now putting them back in, I don't know how we're going to do that, but oh man, that U-joint's so messed up. I don't know if it's going to want to come through here. There it goes. Let's take a look at that. Pretty crusty, but not too bad.
So, whoever worked on this truck I don't think they knew what they were doing. 'Cause this isn't an old U-joint, and the reason it's bad is because they didn't have the clips on, or they didn't have them on well. This clip is turned around backwards, and we're going to have to beat it out a little bit to get it around. The clip down here is halfways off. This clip obviously wasn't on well, that's why the cap's missing. And then it's got new ball joints on it too. Well, they didn't grease the ball joints, and that's why the ball joints are bad.
Josh, what kind of truck did you buy?
Work truck. It doesn't work.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but the reason this had so many issues is the ears, instead of being straight like this, they're bent like that. And so if you put that in there straight, it actually points like down this way. Same thing with the other side, it points up this way. There's no wonder they couldn't get things right in there. So that leaves us with a dilemma. Either try to bend this back with heat or hammer, and it probably won't be right. But you don't have to use four-wheel drive that often in a truck like this, and it's got auto-locking hubs. Or buy another shaft. I'd say if we can find a pipe about yay big and just heat it right there, tweak on it a little bit until that pipe fits all the way through perfectly, then it'll be okay. Not great, but okay. You don't have to use it that often. Look at that.
Does it go straight through like that?
It does go straight through, but
so it needs to be at least that good when we're done.
do not attempt this unless you are a trained professional. Obviously, I need more training. Do not attempt this unless you are a trained professional. Looking pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Alright, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that's what we ended up with. Much better than it was. What about this side? It's got a little tweak to it as well, I think. We'll get this situated, and then we'll move on to the next step over here. That's another issue. Better. Josh, why is there Ford parts everywhere?
It exploded.
We're continuing to work on this Ford. We got a new axle. We straightened the frame. We got new leaf springs. All that's taken care of. But then there's all the maintenance items, which Josh has been working very hard at. It looks like he's ordering some more parts right now.
Ordering tools.
Tools? Specialty tools. You realize we have to leave in like a week, right?
Yep.
And the motor is halfway torn apart.
I gotta do the other half.
Oh. He's halfway torn apart the motor, but then he still has to tear apart the other half?
Yeah.
So to add to that list, yesterday we went out with the VinWiki guys to prepare for the Offroad Games, and we added more to our list actually. So we took the Scorpion out, I let them drive. It wasn't their fault, I was actually driving whenever I ruined everything. What I've found so far is the water pump is leaking. It's been running rough, and I actually was looking in here, if you can see this. So that wire goes to the O2 sensor, and somehow, I don't know, we routed it the wrong way, and it's been sitting on the exhaust there, just melting the wire off of the rubber off of the O2 sensor wire. So I need to fix that. Also, I punctured a hole in the tire, so we need to repair that. On top of that, I need to put a new winch line on because, as you know, we got our patent for the Freedom winch line, which is a huge success for me. I actually put the award on the wall in my office with the winch line. I'll show you a picture of that. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of that. We've had a lot of questions on the 12,000 pound winch line. So this is the 3/8 winch line. That's what we started with. The 3/8 winch line is rated at 15,000 pounds MTS. That's minimum. So 15,000 pounds is the minimum brake strength. So for a 10,000 pound winch, you want 1.5 times safety factor. So that's perfect for the 3/8 line. But a lot of people have the 12,000 pound winch. So either the Warren 12S or the Harbor Freight 12,000 pound winch. And they're wondering if they can use the 3/8 line on that. Well, you guys do what you want. I can't tell you to do that. It doesn't have the 1.5 times safety factor. So what we're working on is a 7/16 line that will have enough MTS to have the minimum brake strength of 18,000 pounds, which will be sufficient for the 12,000 pound winch. This is the first prototype. I have to put this on and see what the length, the overall length is going to be to fit inside the 12,000 pound winch. If you don't know anything about these winches, they're actually the exact same size, the 10,000 and the 12,000 pound. The only difference is gearing on the inside. So this is going to spool faster. This is going to be a faster winch. 12,000 pound is going to be a slower winch. The only difference is the gearing inside, just like the gearing on axles.
What we got?
Are you bringing us goodies?
I got all kind of goodies.
This is my favorite mailman.
How are you?
Good. That looks like more Ford parts. I don't want those.
Well, this one's probably empty bags for mailing out the goodies to all the
yeah.
people that are getting goodies out there.
We get delivered the mail bags that go back out to you, so you're just bringing them and then you got to take them again.
I get to take them again when they're full.
I'll leave that for Hope. I'll take this to Josh. Do we have packages for you? All right, somebody's getting some goodies. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Josh, I got a package for you. It feels light.
It feels light. That might be a power steering light.
Yeah, look at that. That doesn't look good at all. Luckily, I keep some wire from some past Jeeps that I've stripped. So I'm going to take these wires and try to find similar colors. And I will cut that part out and splice that back together. We also had an issue where when we were out wheeling the other day, the Jeep just died altogether and wouldn't start for a while. It had no spark for a little bit. I'm not sure what that was, but we're thinking maybe put a new coil on it and hope that it fixes it. It fixed itself after a while. We started poking around and for whatever reason just started working again. But that's always the scariest whenever you don't know what the problem is and it's like gremlins that just fix themselves, because then you never know when it's just going to pop up again. So now I'm going to take this line out and put this yellow one in. I get a lot of questions about the Freedom winch line, about how to install it onto your winch. Whenever you buy the winch line, you get a video that shows you exactly how to do that. If you want to see that video before you buy the line though, it is actually under the Freedom winch line, the purchase page. In the description down there, there's a link to how to install the Freedom winch line and a couple more cool links that you guys might be interested in, like how to splice your winch line and how to use the Freedom winch line. Alright, we're still working hard on this Ford. Josh is over here basically rebuilding the entire engine without taking it out. What are you doing?
Did new up pipes. I rebuilt the turbo, different turbo pedestal that doesn't have a back pressure valve in it. Every seal, everywhere. Rebuilt the injectors, new glow plugs, valve covers and harnesses, everything.
So either this truck is going to run really great when you're done with it, or it's going to have a major catastrophe 5 miles down the road on the way to Utah.
One of the two. I'm going to be pretty confident with everything except for the injectors.
The injectors?
Yeah.
Why? Why not the injectors? Why are you not confident?
They were pretty worn, and I've never rebuilt diesel injectors before, and they're pretty complicated.
Besides the engine, we've got new radiator hose going on. We've got new steering lines, new shocks, front and rear, new bearings. Even had to do some new wheel studs. We're supposed to have some new tires coming in the mail tomorrow, so we're going to get those put on. We've got to get the motor running, and we still haven't even tested this or drove it down the street to see if the straightening of the frame that we did was good or not. Still has a little bit of a kick up on one side, I think this side, by about a ½ inch, but I say we just send it.
Put 10,000 pounds back there. It's going to level things.
It's going to level itself out.
Yeah.
So what's left? We need to put a turn down on the exhaust pipe there. Just got the receiver on there. That looks pretty good. We are going to put a gooseneck hitch in there, but that has yet to arrive in the mail. Probably ought to clean your dirty underwear out of inside the cab in there.
Really dirty.
And then all these pieces have to get put back on. And we leave in like tomorrow. So we're leaving tomorrow. Wish us luck. Oh, there we go. Look at that thing. It's massive. How are things looking over here?
It's coming together.
Slowly but surely?
Slowly but surely.
I like your spacer you got going on here. That was a problem the other day when I was working on stuff in there. This thing was laid back and I was holding it the whole time, and Hope was trying to find some bungee cords and was going to attach it to something over there. I was like, no, I'll just hold it. Hey, don't forget me. So don't tell Josh, but last night after he left, I was working on the transmission and I was putting this bolt back in and I was putting the last little bit on it and I broke it. Luckily I was able to extract it out of the transmission. It's a really odd bolt. It had 2 holes drilled through the bolt like a banjo bolt. They were drilled right in the same spot, so it was really weak. It looks like a big giant bolt. In reality, it's only an 1/8 inch thick with a hole drilled through it this way and 2 holes drilled this way and this way. We've been looking for these all morning and they are not to be found. I don't guess they make them anymore. So I just welded that back together. We don't need the holes because that was the reason that we were messing with this in the first place, was to bypass the bypass. But now I've got to drill that. So hopefully if I do, we'll still be able to use this. If not, I don't know what we're going to do. We'll give it a shot. Here it comes. I didn't do anything. Nothing's happening. Don't look over here.
You picked a heck of a bolt to break.
It's not my fault. The thing is paper thin.
Well, I ordered the other bypass kit. Be here Friday.
You did?
Yeah.
I'm fixing it.
Okay. Well.
Alright, there it is. So this goes into the transmission, but then there's a bypass here for like a heater, and we're bypassing the bypass, so that's what this sleeve is for. But hopefully that will hold up. I'm not going to tighten it as tight this time. Alright, Josh, if you bought one of those, I think you can send it back or cancel the order. I think we're good. Yeah. Look what showed up in the mail today while we were at lunch. We've got some tires here, and this gooseneck hitch also showed up. This was kind of a pain in the butt trying to figure out how this thing goes. It came in a lot of pieces, But what is nice is we don't have the bed on here currently, so that made it a heck of a lot easier. Although now we're going to have to leave this loose to put the bed on and then kind of situate it in the right spot. But I need to get this. So the way these gooseneck hitches work is there's the bracket, and then there's the hitch itself, and the ball goes down into that. And they sell them separately typically, so you think you're getting a good deal, and then it comes and you only have half of the thing. So this gooseneck hitch cost more than the whole truck did, so Josh, I think if you'd have bought a truck that was wrecked with the gooseneck hitch already in it, we'd have been better off. There we go. He thinks we're going to be able to start it up tonight. We still don't even have coolant or gear oil or anything. So I swapped the gear oil top over onto this oil. Used that to fill the filter. I think we need to get more of these because that's super handy. The only problem is we don't know how much is going into there, so we need a counter, like you said. Okay, tell us the procedure.
So since we drained all the oil out of the oil feed in the heads doing the injectors, we need to refill that without trying to start it. So we need to prime it. So it's just going to crank for 5 seconds, then let it sit for 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and then
what's going to keep it from starting?
That. Key's not on.
Okay.
What?
I was only at 19 and that was 6 seconds.
Alright. When we start it, it's probably going to run like trash.
Why?
Because it's still got to get all the air, a little bit of air out of the system. Okay, now we need to cycle the key a few times.
Lots of noises are happening. Vacuum pump is pumping. Vacuum line is attached. Should I open the door? Is it that time?
This is optimistic.
The nicest thing about this truck, I gotta say, is the new B&W hitch. Look at that thing. I mean, it's just beautiful.
That's on leaks.
How many leaks?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with no leaks.
No leaks? I'm thinking maybe one. That hose that's right in front of the turbo.
Well, if you caused the leak, it doesn't count. Okay, we're going to do a little poking around, diagnosticing, and we'll be right back.
That sounds way too fast.
Too fast?
Spinning over way too fast.
Like it's got no compression? Gonna be stinky. Actually sounds really good, I think. Is that a diesel sound? They sound happy. We'll poke around. But otherwise it's started, yes! so for the tires, we went with the Patagonia AT Pro from Milestar. Those are looking good on there. We got them mounted and balanced. We had to have 6 of them, obviously, for this dually. You didn't want to go with just 4?
No, I want 6.
What else do we need to do before we can drive this thing out of here? Josh got the grill back on last night. We got all the fluids topped off. The air intake is in. The battery is in. Are we forgetting anything other? We bled the brakes, so we're good there. Okay, let's fire it up. Apparently there's a lot of air in the system yet, and it still takes a while to fire up. I'm gonna go ahead and say you're low on fuel.
Oh yeah.
That's fancy. Now you need to just attach that to your dash up there. You won't have to worry about any gauges. There you go. We're supposed to drive spiritedly.
Yeah, but I don't know if we have the fuel to drive spiritedly.
I'm interested to see how that axle's gonna do. I don't feel any crazy vibrations just yet. Ladies and gentlemen, now we've got this truck running. We're gonna have to go buy a double trailer. And we're gonna have to get my Scorpion running right, because it's not running right currently. And what else do we have to do before we can leave?
Put the bed on.
Oh yeah, we gotta put the bed on so that we can carry a whole bunch of junk. And we'll have tail lights and stuff. That'd probably be good.
Tail lights would be good.
Ow. Like brand new.
Just like it.
So right where this gooseneck hitch is, there's a piece of steel over the top, and that is for, I guess, a heat shield that has to come out. Otherwise, check this out. It's looking pretty good. Looks like it's got a lift in the back. We need to put on the list by other 4-inch hole saw.
Yeah.
Alright guys, it's a new day. We've got rain coming today. We are still working on this truck. Check these out. This is going to look so awesome in a multicolored vehicle. We're going to have red, black, red, chrome, silver. I've got a lead on a trailer, so we're going to go see if we can pick up a trailer. Josh is working on making things legal so that we will have brakes on this so-called trailer, and probably need some brake lights as well. I also need to put a new water pump and a new coil in here, see if we can get this Jeep running right, because we're going to have to put this on a trailer along with a surprise vehicle, and we're going to see you guys at the Offroad Games. So I'm going to put the camera down and get to work on that stuff, but come see us at the Offroad Games in Hurricane, Utah, coming up. So if you haven't got your tickets for that, make sure you do that and get your hotels very soon. And we will see you guys